Hey, hey, hey! Hello, traders, noobs, apes, and everyone else. This is Drippy, your source of options drip, or dare I say, the only source on a daily basis. Here we talk about some of the most exciting setups based on the options flow, technical analysis, pattern analysis, macroeconomic events, and current market structure. So if you want to make some tendies, stick around. My goal is for all of you to achieve financial freedom and create life-changing wealth. On the screen, I have a brand new Twitter account dedicated to this channel and interacting with you folks. So make sure you follow me there for free alerts, my entries, exits, rumblings, sometimes memes. My Twitter handle is at drippy2hard. Also, please note that the content I share here or on Twitter are my opinions. I'm not a financial advisor. You're responsible for managing your risks and taking profits, and we are going to talk a lot about them. With that out of our way, oh, just a heads up that I'm new to YouTube world and this is my first video literally. And I realize the audio is not the best right now, so please bear with it for a couple of videos until I get things in order because I do have a full-time job and I have to work from in the morning, so this is the only time I get during weekends. But trading is my passion and I believe it is my ultimate destiny. That's why I'm spending a lot of my free time creating content for you guys. Well, I will. So please like and subscribe if you find it useful. It's free of cost to you. So without further ado, let's proceed with today's agenda. So today I'm going to share three setups and I'm very excited to talk about them with you guys. These are all bullish setups. I don't like short bias setups. I can trade them if I have to, but in this market, every dip is being bought aggressively. So risk reward for them on the short side is not that great to be honest. So a bit about nature of these setups. These are highly unusual with respect to options flow, low risk. These are like usually very high reward because the IV is low and a fairly decent chance of going in our favor in the next couple weeks. Um, Also, these are not my main setups. Those I will cover in my like a weekly uh, watch list video or tweet. I'm also going to go in depth in this video on how I do analysis using unusual whales. If you're not aware, unusual whales is options flow analysis tool with a lot of other features, but I mainly use them for maybe I'll make a separate video for unusual whales in the future. Drop a comment if you want me to do that. But for now, just know that I mainly use it to scan for unusual activity in the options market and as a confirmation bias for my setups. I highly suggest to give it a try. I link them in the description. But before we proceed with charts, um, let's talk about some important economic events which might invalidate these setups for us. So always think about risk first. So like a this is a risk, right? And with that in mind, so I think we have a CPI data coming. This is on September 14th, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'm in Eastern time, so I wake up I think around like 7:30 a.m., sometimes 7 a.m. Um, so I'll be up for watching this. And then there's also FOMC meeting here, which is scheduled for 21st, 22nd September. So any speculation around these, you might see, like, actually, to be honest, these might be a great dip buying opportunities for our weekly setups. So QQQ is already extended, so right now, so maybe, it will dip before these events, and then we can probably buy dips on some of our plays here, which I will share in the future video. So yeah, keeping them in mind, you know, but keeping that all aside, I think these plays will work out irrespective, and because they're just so ready, you know, like usually, same or 2 weeks expiry, like the whales, they are usually very bullish. Otherwise, why would they put a lot of money, right? For them, risk is too high. So we want to take advantage of those moves, right, and capitalize on them timely. With options, if you're wrong, like with respect to timings or with respect to your entry, you can make a winning trade a loser, like by get go, right? So we gotta take advantage of that fact. Um, okay, so moving on to charts here. So first one, yeah, this one is really beautiful chart here. Also, I will share the notes for this. I have a note here which you can take a screenshot of the whole chart. Maybe I'll post that on Twitter as well. So yeah, first IFF, International Flavors and Fragrances. So I'm curious about this company because, first the chart looks amazing, right? Like, let's just look at the chart. Like, it looks beautiful. Like, it's all-time high, monthly squeeze here. Yeah, see it better. It's just monthly squeezers just fired here. Momentum is strong on weekly, daily. Well, daily is weak, but it's just consolidating right now here. And also, like, once we enable our chart, like lines and stuff. So yeah, some pretty cool stuff here. So let's look at the EMA clouds just to kind of confirm here. So it's sitting very pretty on this EMA 3450, just like a really good base here. This like a kind of like a volume shelf here. And what's amazing is that this anchored VWAP from swing low is acting as amazing support, right? And the anchored VWAP from the swing high or the all-time high, it's like pinching in between them, right? So a big move is gonna come soon, right? So definitely a great opportunity, um, with respect to risk reward. Like, what's your risk here? Like, you can keep your stop loss right here, or if you want to keep it like below this volume shelf, you can keep it right here, you know. And the reward is all the way till here, right? It might even break all-time high and just go to these extended fib levels, right? So this is just like the technical analysis, right? The next stuff is like, why am I bullish with respect to the macroeconomic events, right? So if you look, this like a holiday season is coming soon. So people will buy gifts and like fragrances sell a lot during this time, right? So seasonality is looking great here. So the next thing we wanna, like check. Oh yeah, there are a couple other technical things here, which I want to mention because I think they are important. Is so the volume is low first, right? So we want to see a like big spike and then the breakout, right? So that will give us a good confirmation that bulls are in charge for this. And then monthly squeeze fired, I already as mentioned, right? And there is a 4 hour squeeze here. So it's in squeeze 4 hours. You can see it's like consolidating very nicely here. So it's just ready to pop now. Apart from that, I think the next thing I want to talk about is the options flow. So I'm gonna come back to price targets because I want to tell you guys how I like evaluate risk reward with option plays. But I've already marked them for you guys, so you can just like take a look here. It's also in the notes for this. I just had to hide them because I wanted to kind of give space to the chart itself. Uh, where is this thing? Where is the text? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So yeah, so yeah, like looks it's a pretty bullish chart. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna come to this section in a minute. I want to talk about options flow first. So this tool, which I was telling you, unusual whales. Excuse me. Um, I think I'm gonna cover this whole tool in a separate video. I think this video will exceed a lot. Um, yeah, this video will be a long one anyway. So anyway, so yeah, so I type here. And this is something called intraday analysis analyst, and I type the ticker name. So in this case, it's IFF. And then you can see here, like first thing we notice here is that look at the time here, 2 o'clock, after two, right, 5:10, and all bullish calls, right? Everything like there's no put. So this is unusual, right, for this stock. But it's like how unusual is this, right? We want to see that. So yeah, there's this other thing here, like don't get confused by this because initially I was confused like why is the put volume so high? Well, it doesn't really look bullish, right? But in reality, so for 17th strike, like this is the strike here, September. In reality, these are open contracts which were open before puts because these are open interest, right? So someone open puts, probably they're shorting this by via contracts and excuse me, they're shorting this via contracts, and it's like obvious that once a big move comes up they will close their positions. What's interesting here is this. So open interest for 152.5 call is 18. So and look, the volume for that 3285, like that's a lot, right? Zero puts. So someone just purchased like maybe this one person or multiple, like so many contracts for the same expiry and same strike price, like except this one. So this is ultra bullish, right? And also one thing, you can go here and look at the flow history. So yeah, so by default, this is called volume and put volume. But in my opinion, call volume and put volume is not a reliable indicator because you can sell calls and you can sell puts. And like the selling calls is like a bearish move and selling puts is like a bullish move, right? So um, it can artificially like show us that it's bullish bearish. So that's confusing. So this is the key part here, right? Bullish premium and bearish premium. And I know the colors are kind of like uh, contradicting. Like you just feel like this should be like bullish, right? Because it's blue. But yeah, just something to keep that in mind. And then price. So we can see here like it's spiking here, right? And this is low. So yeah. And then also look at the flow history here, right? From last 2 days. So this is something you guys like might miss out, but observe this. 30-day call volume is 300 almost, right? And look at this. This is 3,300. So like how much is that? Like that's 10 times the call volume, right? It's like 1,000% call volume, and it's ultimate bullish, right? You don't get 96%, right? You don't get 8 puts only, right? And it's been kind of like that overall from last week, except one day, but overall super bullish here. looking really good. And then you can also look at see today's breakdown here. It's the final thing I do is today's full chain breakdown. I go to show charts here. So what this tells me is like a whole view for kind of like a whole day, right? So you can see here that um, this is the bullish premium, uh, and here it's so higher than the bearish one, right? For the 17th strike price, 17th of September, which is like upcoming in like 2 weeks. And then which strike price is this one, right? 152.5. So you can clearly see on these charts like really fast. Like if you look at numbers, it just takes too much time. That's what I used to do before. Like I had my own kind of like software for this, but this gives a really good visual, right, for us to work with. And then another important thing I look at is like, well, when did the um, contracts were purchased, right? Because that's important. Like this, because sometimes you look at some charts which have already run like 10%, right? So those call contracts might have been purchased in the morning. So that might not be a good risk reward play. It might go higher up, but how much? So in this case, like it didn't really go that high. It's chopping in that it's pinched in that VWAP range, and and they just place this big bid around market close. So they know something big is coming, right? Whoever is doing this or playing this. So yeah, ultra bullish. Chart looks amazing. Setup looks amazing. Seasonality looks great. So yeah, let's move on to levels and how to evaluate like profit, right? Like how much profit can you get? Because unusual whales like alerts, I think I don't know what's the average, but I think maybe 100 plus alerts a day. So that's a lot of alerts, right? And these plays, these are not even from the alerts. Like these are my own custom scanner on top, which I've written uh, to kind of like pick out unusual options based on, like a lot of trial and error and back testing. Um, so yeah, where was I? Yeah, I think I was talking about how to evaluate the profit zone, right? So I mean that's pretty simple. You know that's here, like support is right here, as I already told. Um, you can play it two ways. You can either buy it tomorrow, sorry, Mondays, whenever the market opens, and you can wait for the break, or you can wait for the break of this. Waiting for the break is a wise move because that gives you higher probability setup. Yeah, your reward will be less, but chances of getting that reward will be more. So if your risk level is low, I would suggest to do that because you have a great support area then to like be that support. It might even break and retest, right? So it's not like you're missing anything. Um, but if you are rather adventurous like me and you have a higher risk tolerance, then just go for it like I did. Yeah, I didn't wait for market open because I don't know, it might gap up on some news, right? Um, so apart from that, the way we calculate, so like profit targets is like 4 to 8% move based on these levels. Like you can use the ruler tool to kind of calculate, like this is 3%, that's like 4%. So for a, let's say all-time high move, which it can do, right? Because you see here like it does have the ability to like create these big bars, right? Like look at these bars. So it can go and create a new all-time high in like 3 days if it wants to. So keeping that in mind, like profit targets are like 4 to 8%. So risky for 152.5 September 10th calls, like these were the ones on the trades on the unusual whales tool. So the way I've calculated these, I'll show you in a minute, but yeah, like profit potential, look at that. It's beautiful, right? A 4% move is guaranteeing you like 500% profit. That's 5 times your money, right? And if it goes ultra bullish, right, 1100%. And 155 calls for September 17th, or even similar, right? Um, so overall, break for the way, wait for the break of that area. There's a volume gap here, so it might fill it real fast. Like you can see here, these candles are big, so it can do it on a low volume. Dividend is coming too. So yeah, apart from that, this one other thing I wanted to show you was this website called OptsionStrat. Yeah, this one. Sorry, it's open in my other browser. Let me close that one. Okay, so here you can like simulate a call, and it has the real-time data. It's free of cost. Um, so it's like IFF, and then we are looking at September 10th. It was, what was it? September 10th, 152.5 call. So you can select here 154.5 call. Here it's bid ask because, you know, I'm just assuming that I'll get the worst fill. So net debit is $20. Sorry, it's profit loss. Yeah. So yeah, look at that. A 4% move. A 4% move is 300%. But we want to increase it more. Like we had a range more, so 8% here. Yeah. So September 155 calls and 150 calls. So you can slide here and calculate like how much profit potential we have, right? And then September 17th ones, like you can see here, it's like roughly from 300 to 800%, right? And if you do mid here, that increases. So that my initial numbers are based on the mid price because that time it didn't come to me about bid ask. But yeah, like you can toggle and see like the range here. Um, Apart from that, yeah, so you can use this tool. I already did for my setups, and you can play with it if you want. Like you can see if IV increases, what happens. It's pretty handy, right? Yeah, you otherwise you don't know. Like you can even calculate your risk here. Let's say that your stop loss is 149, right? So it's like 50%. And if you want to have less risk, then 36%, right? The further away you go from like from the your last price, the more risk increases, right, on weekly options. So the more in the money you are, the better for weeklies um, in terms of risk. And then that's all with the IFF. Drop a comment if you think that this is a bomb setup. I personally think like this is an amazing setup and it's gonna play out the way we want. So I'm excited about this one. So let's move on to the next one, which is MGI, MoneyGram International. Now look at this chart from a monthly perspective, right? Let me reset this so get a, okay, yeah, look at this, right? Like it's done so. Like it's done, man. Like it cannot go lower. Like the sellers gave up here, I think. They're like, well, that's it. Let's just buy back now. It's just like so bad. But yeah, anyway, not everything what looks here is bad, right? Look at this volume here. This is amazing accumulation going on here, right? Look at this big green bars here and then small red ones. So definitely a big accumulation going here, right? Uh, all it needs is a catalyst, right? Well, right. I'll come to that later. First, I want to talk about something else as well. So if you look at this like anchored VWAP, which we have it from all the way from the all-time high, right? And it comes all the way here, and then let's go to daily and look. All that supply was soaked, it ran down. But the swing high, the previous swing high, it's acting as a great support here. Look how like how beautifully this VWAP is like acting as first like resistance here, and then break, retest, break, goes all the way, creates a higher high, creates a lower high, right? Right on trend line here. So chart looks amazing, right? Right on support. Your risk is literally this. Like if it goes below, like my personal risk tolerance is higher, so I will keep it here or maybe like at this close bar. But yeah, like it definitely looks amazing, right? And then the volume, look at this pinch here, like the previous one I showed you, right? The swing high and pinching here. So overall looks really good with respect to price action, right? We also have daily on it, like whenever a reversal is expected, right, on such a downtrend, what you want to look for is on a lower time frames, higher and higher lows established, and there is some kind of support trend line. And in this case, it's both, right? On a daily basis, it's created, it's established, right? Bulls have shown that, they are getting in control now. Every time it bounced from this trend line, look how much the bounce was right here. So it's right here now. Like it's been here for a while though. So that's something to keep in mind. But as I told you, there is some catalyst. So keeping that in mind, I think it's the chances are it's gonna pop up higher, right? And MACD just scored. RSI is weak, but it's stronger than it was. On a weekly basis, the same thing, higher lows, and not on monthly basis though. It's still lower. So on a long-term basis, given that this amount of volume is here, I have no doubts that it might go to $17, right? And that wouldn't be bad. Like, come on, like this was a almost $300 stock back in 2007. So when people actually used to send wires, yeah, this company actually like it's like Western Union or something. Um, so the catalyst here, which I was telling you, is like look at this news here. U.S. allows personal remittances to flow to Afghanistan, and this company is literally doing that. So their revenue is going to increase now. Excuse me, because people are trying to send money right to their family, and with the whole democracy like crashing like that, like they'll need a lot of money. So yeah, that's the catalyst, right? And it's a strong one. Right? It's like um, it's to me it's super bullish, right? And it's already made that first supplies, like like all the supply is gone now. So chances are it's gonna break higher. So we want to capitalize on that news, and that's what like someone did on. One more thing before we go to the options floor, look at this. It's again like momentum is turning positive, and it's in a squeeze here. So chances are that hopefully the squeeze goes up, fires out with a big volume bar, and we take advantage of that move. So I'm gonna open up my notes here because we have gone through the chart now. So if you guys want to screenshot it, then do that. You have opportunity to do that now. Um, yeah, okay, it's right here. I'm gonna go to the weekly and then put it right here. So if you want to take a picture of that, go ahead. Um, the call contracts which I'm targeting, right? So now once you establish your TA, right, you want to know like how to which option contract will be liquid enough for you to get in and out without having to go through like a really bad fill or a really wide bid and ask spread, because that matters a lot, right? So to do that, this is where unusual flow come, unusual whales come into picture, right? Because now I have a way to figure out, well, what are whales targeting, right? So I go here and I type MGI. Wait, it's MIG. MGI. Yeah, but it has no big trades like maybe on Friday. So we can just go ahead and look at the history and look at the history here. This was, um, but it's just general. Like look at the history here. Like this is the daily option premium, and look, it's like bullish, 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 and this is like, yeah, not that bullish, but even call volume is higher here, so premium is higher, so that's still bullish, right? But the price is decreasing on a daily basis, so bulls are like, nah, enough is enough, like, we are moving this higher now, so they're probably trying to create some gamma squeeze. um, and 5,400 contracts are not a lot for this stock because the average for 30 days is 3.1, so it's like 200% volume, but still a lot given the fact that the price is going down, not up. Um, yeah, and I think I'm gonna skip this one because I already kind of described you earlier. And then another thing you can look at is these levels here, flow level for in stock. Maybe MJ is not the best uh, demonstration stock for this because it doesn't have that volume on Friday, but on Thursday it had. So in my next talk, I'll show this page in more detail. Um, moving on, so yeah, so let's evaluate. Now we know the calls from this is they're targeting, this level, and this is way out of, like, 2022 is too much time, right? So this is not really gonna give us that spike in premium, but this will. All right, and Thursday this was really high. So you can check that in the flow history. You can see which one has like open interest, highest open interest and stuff like that. I think it's in like today's breakdown. Yeah, like most active chains. So you can see like 10, $12 calls are there. So a $12 call is all the way until here. So that's a big move for this stock, right? From current price, it's 31%, right? So keeping that in mind, I have my targets. Um, First one is simple, right? This resistance here. It's been a big resistance on lower time frame, and it's also kind of like a psychological around 10 and volume. There's a volume kind of like resistance here based on the volume profile. And so this is the level I'll be taking profits. Let's say if it doubles, I'm going to sell half my contracts and then remaining is house money. So it can go to the moon, and I'll make profit or zero. Either way, I have no loss, right? So that's the mindset for this one. So a 15 to 30, let's be conservative, right? Let's say that it just goes halfway through. So a 15 to 30% move up on 17th September call, it's like $25, so it's a cheap option. Um, 300 to 750%. So if it goes to 30%, like here, around here, 750% move. That's amazing, right? Like we don't get to see that kind of in even in like liquid stocks, like on a daily basis, right? Um, so yeah, apart from that, I think I covered everything else. I think so. Yeah, it looks looking really good. 4 hour squeeze is gonna fire and then it's gonna just go up. Like it's in the nature of this one. So it's gonna go up again. And the final one, The one which I'm already in this position. Like I wasn't able to get in IFF and MGI since they were so close to like uh, closing hours, and I was already like um, pretty much like done for that day, so I didn't see it. Yeah. So looking at this chart, I know you guys will say like this is a Dunzo number more than the previous one, but there's a catalyst here, right? So wait for it. And I know that it's Dunzo, but look, there is a big volume gap down, right? Well, it's not really something a stock which will crash like that, right? This was like COVID crash, and this is due to earnings, right? I mean, it's dropped already all the way, I don't know, like 30% almost, and it's right on weekly support, like 200, right? I think this one is like 201, yeah. So if this is on like weekly support here, and it already bounced here from there once, so it's acting like as a great support. Now it's in a demand zone here. Look how many spikes here. So it's a great area for a bounce back, right? I'm not saying that it's gonna go up all the way. It might, but I think the chances are that it's gonna hit some resistance here and then kind of fall back, retest, and then go up if it has to. But that's a long-term view. For now, it it has a bounce due. Like another thing to notice here. Look at this RSI here. Every time the RSI goes to oversold area, look how much the bounce back is, right? Like a spring here, like, and then this is gonna happen soon, right? And it's like a V-shaped kind of thing with this stock, pretty much all the time. So it's in the nature of this stock to do that. And on a monthly, it's in a squeeze, but it's too early to tell because it's monthly squeezes fire like months. So, but yeah, another thing to notice here in the price action is like falling wedge. So, and it's right on trend line pretty much. So I'm expecting at least a bounce here, and it's in demand zone. So at least a simple bounce is due, right? It has done that in the past year. Every time it comes here, it has done that. So it's gonna do it again, and maybe it will break, maybe it will come back. But I have positions around this area. I got it on Friday, so I feel pretty comfortable with my position here. Um, like if it tries to break this trend line, I'll reevaluate based on the price action if I cut my loss or keep it. Because this one, I definitely feel like combined with the catalyst, I think it might just be that factor to finally like break out of this one wedge. Apart from that, let's look at the notes for this one. If I missed anything, then you can take a screenshot of that. Sorry. Yeah. We're gonna go cover the macro event. I forgot to cover that, right? So the macro event in this case, it's a sector, like mobile payment sector. It's iPay, right? So if you look at iPay's chart here, so this is another way to confirm your bias here, like not with option flow, but with like macroeconomic uh, factor, or also in this case, the whole sector. So if you look at the sectors chart is in weekly squeeze, it's already like broken through this long term resistance, right? Consolidation area. It's a bull flag, and it's gonna break and go up higher because this has really good names, right? Square, PayPal, and some other big names. So the Square itself looks like it's gonna pop higher. Like look at how beautiful cup handle retest, and it's gonna go, and uh, weekly squeeze has fired already. Daily squeeze is gonna fire soon, so it's amazing setup. I'm gonna cover my weekly setups in a different video. Like I have a whole list of them. Like market is amazing. Look, like setups are amazing right now. So yeah, we're gonna cover that later. So let's go to GPN for now. So we have a good sector. Sector is gonna go, and then when the leader goes like Square, like laggers like this will catch up, right? I mean the earnings were pretty good for this. Um, like year over year earnings. This was a surprise. So earnings were good. I think year over year growth was double digits, and they had a good outlook for future. So I'm not sure why this has fallen that much. I think ARK also bought this one recently, so maybe excuse me, maybe I'm wrong on this one, but I think I read it somewhere while doing the research. So in my opinion, a bounce is due, and when the bounce happens, look at the nature of the stock. It's immediate. It just goes. Look at this place, went up. This 4 days, 5 days already up. Like I don't know, probably like 30%, 15%. Wow. And then all the way later to like double up there. So yeah, keep that one in mind. Targets. This supply zone, it's a big one. It has never tested here. It's a volume risk, like there's some kind of like resistance based on volume profile. So yeah, like around 165 to 167, I'll probably sell half of my contracts, and then I will wait and see how does it behave. If it dips, maybe I'll add on dip and see if it kind of retests this one and finally goes for a bigger move. Like you can take profit again, but yeah, gonna have to see the flow and like wait to see like what's going on with on the like what are whales thinking here. So how do I find calls now? So again, we go back to this tool, and then you get GPN, and then look here. So right, pretty bullish, right, for today, but this is interesting, right? Look, the volume is greater than open interest in them, and there's a lot of open interest for calls already. But for October, there's some contracts open, but volume look again, it's more. So they're targeting like 175, right? And if you look at the stock, it's 158. So they are targeting it to move all the way here without any like just go clear through this resistance and go for that bigger move, right? So if we just get that, look at the profit, right? 1562%. That's that's 15 times, right? And if any chance like it just retouches this level, the momentum is strong, shorts are covering, and the sector is going, then what? Like it can be like 20 times. So yeah, there's a huge reward on that one, right? So I'm already in this one because I saw the flow was bullish. Like here, if you go look at the flow history and look at this, like I mean, on average, the call contracts is like 4.6, but it's getting more, like repeated bullish calls here. Put to call ratio is less than like zero point 0.1 from last 4 days. People are selling puts. Um, bullish premium is increasing. You know, it's it's increasing. And here it's 60% bullish overall. Um, so yeah, it's looking great. And then look at this. This was the chart I was gonna show for today's breakdown and then show charts. So you can see here as well, like on daily basis, is how much is the premium, right? This so you always have to look for the flow history because you cannot just tell by one day's performance, right? If it's the same day runner, maybe, but if it's something like this, then you have to look at the flow history, right? Because you're basically buying the dip here for this stock. and that's super risky. But the rewards are high, 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 right? So, um, well, it's risky in terms of that your play will not work out, but you can still get out, right? You already have a stop loss in mind. So, like my stop loss, for example, is around this level, 153. It's big, I know, but I also think that it's not gonna do that. Like maybe it will go retest this level when the market opens, but in my opinion, it's gonna go up, and I'll take profits when it does because I have a decent size in this one. Yeah. So I think there are some other things I wanted to cover on unusual uh, flow and unusual whales tool, but it's getting late. I'm kind of tired, and I think it's a longer than I expected video. Um, so let's just recap today. Three plays: IFF, MGI, GPN, and all bullish plays. I'm gonna share this on Twitter, and you have the video, so you can look here, go through it, evaluate yourself. Um, so yeah, dude, these are my top three unusual setups for upcoming week. Again, guys, remember to respect your stop losses. Take profits when you hit the targets. It's important. This is how you build habit for taking profit. It took me a long time to realize that I had profits, but I was never taking them. I would wait for home runs, and in this market, it's not happening. Like it was happening in January, but it's not happening anymore. So take profits when you can, right? Set up on levels is the best way to take profits based on resistance, but you can also take on 30%, 50%, 100% if you are not actively looking at the setup. Um, if you were, yeah, so respect your stop losses, take profits, and finally, guys, please, please, please like and subscribe. I think I have spent whole weekend working on, just this video and finding these setups. So I think if you guys like and subscribe, it will motivate me to do that again. Also, if you would like me to cover additional topics, please comment. Anything from as simple as bid ask spread to like flow analysis or back testing setups to more advanced stuff like machine learning based unusual activity detection. Don't hesitate because I like to kind of dabble into the unknowns, and this is why these setups are unique because I don't think anyone is talking about them, but they're out there and they look really fantastic. Like 1400% profit in a week. I don't think you get that from a lot of people on FinTwit with in depth research on how to play it. So please, please, please follow me on Twitter, subscribe. I will share a lot of ideas. I'm excited to share the weekly watch list. The market setups are just amazing right now. And I'm ultra, ultra bullish on Twitter right now. Like, I am literally um having a crush on Twitter chart right now and the fundamentals. So it's looking great for a swing play. So I'm going to talk about that in a future video. But for now, um, good night, folks. Thank you for listening all this way and have a great Labor Day weekend.